Penny Dreadful. Again, super behind, super sorry. I just say that a lot. But this is episode 2 of season 2 of Penny Dreadful, and it's titled Verbis Diablo. I said that like a white girl. Anyway, let's do it.
Can you understand me?
Oh, Brona looks effed up.
She needs poetry.
She doesn't know English. She doesn't need poetry. Frankenstein, don't have a crush on Brona because, like, you touched her boob. It happens. You know, that guy in the hospital might be able to breathe better if he didn't cover his whole face with the bandage.
That makes sense, doesn't it, us being cousins?
Brona sounds different and looks good. I mean, now I can understand Brona without the subtitles.
Your name is Lily.
No, it's not, but that's awesome.
I'm at your mercy.
Don't say it to someone who's, like, been filling you up.
Would you like some soup?
What?
What are you doing down there? Reading poetry amongst sick people? And drinking their soup? In the olden days, it was weird. They'd be like, hey, if you're sick, go lay in a room with a bunch of other sick people, and there'll be no airflow, and it'll be dark. Hope you get better.
They make me nervous.
Who?
The nuns.
They make everyone nervous. So you don't need a bride, you're hitting it off with a chick, you're fine.
You have beautiful eyes.
That's what you do. You pick out one good feature and you ignore the hideous face. Beautiful eyes. Dorian!
Angelique. No last name. Utterly mysterious, don't you think?
Like Cher.
Would you like to see my bedroom?
You are forward.
What a surprise.
She cleans up nice too. I mean, full witchy chick and all of a sudden she's just a lady outside. Make him sniff it off your neck. That's weird flirting. No. See, that's why you don't sniff people's necks. They whisper Satan words in your ear. If anyone ever came that close, whispered something like that in my ear, they'd get punched in the temple. Oh, I miss Mr. Lyle.
American, I'm undone.
Why aren't there more people in the modern world like Mr. Lyle?
Should we find ourselves suddenly afoul of the old glue? Well, I do have a gun belt. Stop. My pleasure, sir. Will you bring your gun belt?
Oh, Dorian Gray is so pretty. Well, duh, of course he had a winkle. I watch RuPaul's Drag Race, I can spot one of them. Malcolm, your shooting's getting shown up by a lady. I know what that's like. I'm amazing. I want that gun. That girl has got it, man. Deadeye. And I seriously want that gun.
They were happy days, our youth.
We were close.
Very.
Not that close, calm down.
I don't know how to feel or act in the smallest ways, even how to sit and speak.
You're doing a great job of it.
But you won't question it. The British Museum holds the world's largest collection of historical pornography. Aside from the Vatican, of course.
Oh my gosh. That is a cool set. They walk down and then the camera goes down. Pretty cool.
But when they finally attacked, it was completely silent. They...
What did the wolves do to you? Where did they touch you?
This way.
I swear I'm not naked. I'm wearing shorts. Or am I? Who's this lady? Why is she hunting a baby? Do I know her? You know, on TV shows, there's always like an empty subway station. Have you guys ever been to a subway? It's never empty.
My little baby, dance to your daddy.
Anytime there's ever a guy that's being sweet to a baby, I want to marry him. Oh God! No! Naked creepy lady on the train! Why'd you kill the guy? He was sweet. Why'd you do that?
Alfred.
Stop doing that! Ew. First of all, if you're gonna steal a baby, put some clothes on. You look a sight. Seriously, all I'm reading is Mad Max War Boy. So this is a crazy man who drew devil's words on stuff. Why'd they give him so much stuff? But if you're crazy and locked up, you get like bread and water. Brona, you look good, blonde girl. I gotta admit, she's blonde. I'm upset it's not like a black beehive with white lightning bolt hair. I want a house just covered in bones and skulls. Wait, what? Why is he there?
Then you'd just be a sad old sodomite in too much rouge and a flamboyant wig.
I thought everyone knew that's what he was.
And you're interested in Miss Ives?
The wicked cunt is no concern of yours.
Whoa.
Simple, really. Uncomplicated, I would think. Like all Americans.
Hey, not cool. Okay, I thought these were like your daughters. You don't kiss your daughter like that unless you're from like a middle state. I'm sorry if anyone's from a middle state. That came out wrong. That is a cool key. I need a jewelry key. Okay, this is creepy. What are you doing? Why are there so many dolls? Or are those all babies? Either way, it's creepy. Nah, those dolls are gross. This is dark. What is happening? No! Don't stab the baby! This scene would be horrifying on its own right, but then when you add like hundreds of dolls, I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight. Those dolls even look horrified at what you're doing. You have a weird freaking hobby, chick. Don't make these creepy, voodoo-ish type human dolls. I'm just imagining purely from like the set decorator's point of view. They're like, we need a room. Like, just tap into your deepest nightmare and then design that room. That doll is a good likeness. What did you do? What? This show! Dude, this show is like a slow burn. Like, you get through most of the episode and you're like, things are weird. And then you get to the end and you're like, this is horrifying. Like, this is the stuff of nightmares. This is stuff that came from nightmares and is fueling new nightmares. The episode opens and it's the morning after Vanessa, like, did the bloody scorpion thing. She goes into Malcolm's room and she's like, hey, they were in my room last night. I'm going crazy. He's like, no, you're not going crazy. They kind of talk and comfort each other, and then he's like, I got some stuff I gotta do later. Will you come with me? Then at Frankenstein's lab thingy, they're staring at Brona, and she looking slow. John's like, I'm gonna just cram poetry in her head right now. And Frankenstein's like, she can't speak English. Frankenstein's like, give her some time with me. I'll give her some book learning. She'll learn words again. John's like, no. Poetry. He eventually gets John to leave, and so he sits down with Brona, and he's like, oh, I gotta teach this chick how to talk. At first, looks like he's gonna touch her boob again, but then he just covers her up some more. He's like, I'm Victor, and she's like, Victor, and he's like, oh, we're off to a great start. Malcolm takes Vanessa to what is essentially an old-timey soup kitchen, and he's like, I volunteer here and give him money. So she puts her little masky on and starts pouring out soup. Then in a hospital, they're going to visit that guy, I think his name was Roper. I think he was the dude that, like, came to go get Chandler to go home to his father, but he just ripped his face out, but the guy's still alive. Back at Frankenstein's, Brona's making crazy progress. I mean, she's already talking again, which is cool, but she's talking with a different accent because all she really has as a frame of reference is Frankenstein. Which is nice because I can understand her, because when I watch this show, usually, it just has to have subtitles on because that chick makes no sense. And I swear even sometimes the subtitles are like, I have no clue what this chick is saying. Frankenstein has told her that he's actually her cousin and that she was in some sort of accident that took her memory away. She asks what her name is and he's like, Lily. Lily's like rebirth and whatever. And then she's like, that made me sad. I have a sad now. Emotions are new to me. She's like a baby. She's sad. He hugs her and she's like, protect me. I'm at your mercy. And it's like, don't give him more power. Vanessa's at the soup kitchen still and she sees John Clare's there. I don't know why he was there. She gives him soup, they talk about religion. They seem to be, like, having a pleasant conversation. It's like, maybe, John, you should try to talk to living girls. Maybe. She mentions the nuns creep her out, and then they talk about religion, and then she has to get back to work. And then we finally see Dorian Gray again, and he's sitting outside at, like, some cafe, and some very pretty ladyboy comes up and is just macking on him hardcore. The ladyboy, that I can't remember her name right now, she sees that Dorian's holding a picture of Vanessa, and she's like, that better be your sister, because I want to get with you. He's like, no, it's a friend. And they're like, oh, did she break your heart? And he's like, yeah, kinda. And then the chick's like, well, yeah, my heart's been broken, too. I don't do that anymore. I don't let people hurt me. But if you want to hang out and maybe just around, here's my card. It's where I'll be. Malcolm's out to buy a present for Vanessa, and he runs into that Madam Something chick. And she's like, hey, I'm buying perfume. Can you help me smell stuff? He's like, yeah, I'll smell some stuff. She has him smell 2 things she's holding up, and then the third one, she's like, I'm gonna put this behind my ear, so you have to come sniff my neck. When he leans in to smell her neck, she whispers some devil words in his mouth, and that was just creepy. At that point, I would have ran. I don't know if she cursed him, so he's like, didn't even remember it, or if he's just really into Satan talk in his ear. Mr. Lyle shows up, and he's just adorably flirting with Chandler the whole time. They bring him in to consult and talk about, the devil language. He says that there is a written version of it somewhere because he tells this whole story about how they thought he was crazy, but he was actually possessed by the devil, so he was writing it down what the demons were saying to him. And then eventually, they do realize he's possessed by the devil and they kill that guy, but they have all of his stuff in the archives and he knows where it is. So him and Chandler make plans to go steal it so they can translate it. So that witch madam chick goes with Malcolm and they're at a shooting range and she's just like boss at it. He totally sucks, which is funny. They talk about his wife and he's like, yeah, we're married, but we can't divorce because it would do a lot of bad things to her family name and reputation. But I don't love her. He kind of explains like he can't be with someone because, you know, he's bound to her still. Then it cuts back to Frankenstein and Brona and he's washing her hair and she's asking about like what their relationship is like. And he starts making up stuff about when they were kids, what they did during the summers, and like what they did during lightning storms. So then he starts dyeing her hair blonde and mentioning that he likes blondes. Dude. Then she asked who John was. She's like, who's that dude that was here when I woke up? And he's like, he was your betrothed. And she's like, did I love him? And he's like, I don't know. So later, Chandler and Mr. Lyle are going to steal the stuff out of the archives, and they run into a guy in the archives. Lyle's like, this is my brother. So, we're gonna go look at stuff. Then he's like, don't worry, the guy probably thinks we're gonna screw around, but you know, we do have a huge porn collection, it happens. So then Chandler finds this crest thing down in the archives and it has wolves on it. They talk about wolves and how they were there when he grew up, and we're like, we get it, you got bit by one. Then they find the thing, and they steal the thing. It was a pretty straightforward scene. And then one of those witch ladies is out on the street and she sees this couple walking by with their baby and she follows them into the subway station. They get on the train together and then she turns into that creepy war boy looking kind of look she has. She kills the dad, she kills the mom, and she stands over the baby looking all creepy and naked. Then after Lyle and Chandler had stolen the stuff, they bring it back and it's just weird scribblings written on just all these different items. I thought the guy was crazy. Like seriously, I thought they locked him up. Like, but some of the stuff he had, I'm like, he had some fancy, weird little knickknacks to draw on. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't give a crazy person like 7 goblets and like a horn he could stab me with. Then John finally gets back to Frankenstein's little lair. He sees Brona, or now Lily, is sitting there with like short blonde hair, and Frankenstein's like, I had to give her a makeover cause people might recognize her. And I'm like, dude, you wanted to play with her hair, come off it. Anyway, he introduces them and says, you know, be patient with each other, but get to know each other. And then later, that Madam Witch chick is at her, like, awesome castle that's just decorated with, like, tons of skulls and bones. But Lyle's there, and she's like, you know, remember all those pictures I got of you being a pervert? Yeah. You don't want those to come out, so you need to keep helping me. He's like, I can get them off your trail. I can, like, give them misinformation. And she's like, no, just keep helping them get Vanessa to find me. And then that witch chick from the subway comes in with a bag, and she's like, did you get it? And then she runs over and just full-on mouth kisses her daughter. Look, I know they might not actually be daughters and they're just witches, but still. Don't use that terminology if you're gonna mouth kiss someone. She tells Lyle to wait there, she takes the bag and runs off to this secret room that's full of the most nightmarish dolls in this weird, like, theater setting where they're all, like, up above her. It was horrible. She stands in the middle of this pentagram, takes the baby out of the bag, and just starts cutting into it while she's, like, chanting and whispering these crazy evil words. I mean, all I could make out was Lucifer over and over again, so it can't be good. She pulls out the baby's heart or something. It's something in the torso. She sticks it in this thing and starts sewing it up while all these dolls are watching on. And I'm just like, seriously, working in that prop department must have been terrifying for a good solid few weeks there. After she's done sewing up the thing, she like ties it off, and then you see she's put the baby's innards in this doll that looks just like Vanessa. Then the close-up of the doll's face just switches to a close-up of Vanessa's face, and she kind of, like, gasps like something happened to her heart. And then the credits! So this was a creepy one, like every episode. If I forgot anything, didn't mention anything, drop a comment. If you just want to talk about anything, this cool show, drop a comment. Don't forget to do the things, rate, comment, subscribe. I'll catch you guys later, so until next time.